Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the Detroit Tigers turned Austin Prospects, of course, after our owner relocated us, and we're here in the 2020-26 season. And as we usually do, the first episode for the regular season kicks off with the date of the first year player draft, but of course we're going to go over our team and how we've been performing so far this season. Now, honestly, bit overwhelming performance. We actually started off a lot worse than this. Kind of had a stretch where we played a little bit better, and then have been kind of back into losing ways in the last 10. Been 3-7 in the last 10 games. Now, our expected win-loss is better than our record right now. It's actually 3 games better. 28-33 would be our record if we pretty much stuck to our expected win-loss, and that would put us in 3rd place in the division, which really wouldn't make that big of a difference. It would put us definitely more secure coming in the wild card hunt, as we really only have 2 months remaining to kind of get ourselves into a play there to be contending for that kind of spot. But yeah, we've had some kind of interesting developments with our team so far this year, which we'll get into pretty much right now as we go ahead and take a look at how our team's performed. Okay, so immediately, as you'll notice here, no Anthony Siegler here at the catching spot, and that's because he's hurt, and he actually missed about 6 weeks' time. Possibly even more, because it was actually like a 5-week injury that ended up being extended because he wasn't exactly ready to come back right away. But actually, catching has kind of been the least of our problems, as Corey Collins, of course, he was up last year for a short time, where he was very good in 21 games, only 66 ABs, but did hit 6 homers. I mean, those times he's really an offensive first catcher. Good power bat. Not absolutely fantastic with the bat so far, but above league average OPS plus. Can't really ask for more than that. He was our backup catcher coming to the season, and he's been fantastic for us. Can't really talk about that. And Carlos Perez, he's been fantastic for us as well, really. I'm getting his first taste of big league action. He was a 2nd-round pick for us all the way back in 2020, and he is a better defensive catcher than Collins. Still not a great pitch framer with his catching ability there, but he is, he does have a good catcher rating, much better one than Collins. So he's pretty decent to have behind the plate, kind of filling more of Siegler's defensive specialist behind the plate role. Now, Blaze Jordan continues to be an issue for the team at first base, performing worse than he did last season at this point. He's been, pretty much just a replacement level guy at this point, which is really, really disappointing to see. His ratings look a lot like Bobby Dahlback's, to be honest. His discipline is kind of not to where his was, and hopefully progresses, but he's been a disappointment, to say the least, at first base. So definitely got to do something about him, or maybe, if we don't do something this season, we'll definitely look to have him back in at least a smaller role next season. Here, another injury. Tyler Freeman, he's down. Drew Bowser is up replacing him. Drew Bowser was good in some appearances in AAA, of course. His big skills is on base ability, and he's done that very well in the major league so far. 350 on base, 750 OPS. Of course, he's never really going to hit for much power, so that's to be expected. But that on base skills, of course, at least very valuable for us to have out of him. Jordan Walker, he's been just absolutely mashing the ball. Really nothing to go over there. 260, 350, 654 OPS, over 1,000 OPS plus of 154, providing good defense for us at a third star. He's the best hitter that we have in our team by far. So, not really worried about him at all. Wencel Perez is another guy who's just absolutely awful. The middle of our infield has been just terrible for us this year. Perez has not been good. He's been getting a lot of ABs at second. Definitely going to give more of those to Bowser, because speaking of the middle infield, our Rule 5 pick has been awful at the plate. Of course, he's a monster defensively, but he he just can't hit. This is like Almaeus 2.0 that is even worse at hitting, to be honest. I mean, yeah, OPS plus of 20. I mean, yikes. Yeah, he's been, honestly, I think right there we're just going to go ahead and, oh no, I meant to release him. But yeah, it's pretty safe to say he's been a failure. As a Rule 5 pick, Paolini, he's our second best hitter. He has been having a fantastic year. Honestly, most likely the best season of his career. Kind of want to compare that to his rookie season. Yeah, his rookie season 2023. This is his best season ever. He's hitting for much more power than he has in previous years, and the OPS is all the way up to 867. He's been very good for us. I mean, his profile is very good. He's actually progressing his discipline, power, contact, all way up there. He's just a fantastic player for us, and I definitely look forward to having him for years to come. He's been a great get for us in the Rule 5 draft. Jock Peterson, he's kind of just been the odd man out on this team so far. Not really any ABs, but just hitting for tons of power when he's getting them. So definitely need to give him some more ABs. Daz Cameron, pretty much turning in just the classic Daz Cameron season at this point. He gets on base, a little less power than he usually has, but I'm confident that that could go up a bit. Parker Meadows continues to just be absolutely awful for us, but we just need him on the roster because he can play a bit of center field, and we need an outfielder that can off the bench that can play center field. Basabe, he's been awful. OPS plus of 70. Hopefully he can turn it around. He'd probably be a prime trade candidate this year if we do decide to sell. Conforto, he's just been outright awful, and we're going to DFA him, and that's going to do it for the Conforto experiment at DH. And with that said, we have two spots kind of to fill in the roster. Siegler, he is he's on rehab, and we're actually going to go ahead and bring him up there. And Abrams, I think he's probably going to be the other guy who we bring up to cover, while Tristan Gray has been awful. And so is Packard. And we have Tommy Pham, and he's going to be the other guy that we call up right there. Then we definitely have some guys here who could be interesting. Bullard, definitely not going to play any third base for us. Ooh, he can actually play a corner outfield. That would be very, very nice for us. And yeah, so like if a guy like Basabe, ends up, not bouncing back, he could be a very interesting play at third base. Not at third base, he's a third baseman at right field. So I'm definitely going to start messing around with him kind of at some different positions to get him a little bit of experience. So we're actually going to go ahead and force him to start in right at this point. And also with Siegler being ready, we're also going to go ahead and send down Perez. I really just have no choice to do that, but Siegler has not been good at all with the bat at all this year, but of course his catching ratings are just absolutely disgusting, so we definitely just need him on the roster for those purposes alone. And then we're going to go ahead and add Abrams, and he can't really play short, but at least not that effectively, but we really need him to be a glove out there. Definitely need to do some upgrading if we're going to go ahead for a playoff run, especially this year. And even if we wanted to really get back into it, we probably have to do something along those lines too. But now we're going to go ahead and get into the pitching, if it actually shows me the pitching stats. So there we go. So Mike Robson has been a huge disappointment, about the same amount of innings that he got in last year, and pretty much the same result, just not very good, which is really disappointing because his ratings are, amazing. He's got a decent control, 2 amazing pitches, got great stuff, just a hard thrower. So I'm hoping he can kind of put it together, although I'm kind of concerned because there are a decent amount of guys who in this game, and this has been a problem in this game in a while, I think, with just super high ratings. And this guy's not even one of those guys who, have like not good control. Because I noticed even like the guys with really good stuff and bad control end up, still having some, they're still hit or miss. Like they'll have a good season, bad season, but they still end up having pretty good careers. I've noticed that guys with like good stuff ratings. Like they might have good stamina, but they can't be a starter because they only have 2 pitches. They just do not work as bullpen pieces for some reason. I do not know why. And I've noticed in that game like forever, as long as I played it, and it just happens every single year. Paulino, he is kind of interesting because he has a very low ERA, but his FIP is not good. It's 5.6. Walking a lot of guys, not striking out very many. His K to walk ratio is only 1.7. Yikes. And then Joey Camarada has also been bad, which, we're just going to have to keep riding it out with him, I think. I'm definitely going to I think I might try to deal him this year to kind of get something from him, because I really don't think he's going to pan out. But, he still has sky-high potential. So I definitely think I'm going to go ahead and try to move him, because I don't think he's going to be able to turn into anything. But he is very highly rated by the game and our scout. Zach Houston has been bad. A lot of the kind of lower-end bullpen pieces that we've had around in our organization forever, like Houston, these guys just kind of aren't having good seasons. Houston, of course, had a pretty good season last year, but this, I guess, is just going to be one of his off years, so he might see some time in the minor league soon. Che Moo's the guy who's just dominated the minors every season, and I finally just wanted to get him time in the majors. He can kind of start. He has a good fastball and then kind of meh breaking pitches off of that, but he just dominated AAA every year, so I decided it's finally time to give him a chance, even though he's 31. Joey Wentz has been fine. He's, after his career year last year, it kind of looks like he's maybe settled back into his just innings eater role. His ERA is just awful, but his FIP, is much, much better. So I'm not too concerned about him. He's been fine for us. Kumar Rocker was on the shelf for about a week, but he's also been a guy who's been fine. 4.6 FIP, only 33 innings though, so I'm sure with time he'll improve upon that. Severino has been fine as a lefty for us. Joe Musgrove is back, and he is pitching well again for us. He's been a fantastic buy low signing for us. It really sucks that nothing might come of it team success wise. That's been a great signing for us. Joe Jimenez, Andrew Vasquez, Chris Montoya, and Michael Flores has all been extremely good for us this season. Jimenez, Vasquez, Montoya, of course, the back of our bullpen that is just very dominant. And then Michael Flores has kind of been, he's a young guy. He's in his second year Major League experience. Last year, kind of the same role. Got some starts, mainly pitched out of the bullpen. This year in the second year, he's been much better. I'm not striking out as many guys, but also not walking as many and not allowing as many home runs. So he's been very good for us. I'm very interested to see if anything can come of him. He was a 6th round pick in 2020. That 2020 draft was really, that first draft really, we hit very well at that. And then, Rule 5 draft guys like Pelini, there's definitely been a strength of ours so far in this series. And then some guys that I should mention that are on the shelf. Casey Mize, nothing to worry about here. He's just been a little banged up. He missed the start. And then, he missed the start. I think the injury is about 10 days, but I decided to go ahead and put him on the 15-day IL. Just because he wouldn't be able to make that start, and I wasn't sure if he would be able to make another start. We definitely wanted someone up that could do that. He really hasn't had a good season for us so far. His ERA plus is below league average, and this is his last year of team control. So if we're not contending, I would definitely expect that we would at least look to move on from Mize. I know I kind of looked at that in previous seasons, and after what looked like a bounce back year last year, he's not pitching well again this year. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. Penn Murphy, his ruptured his ulnar collateral ligament. His career is probably pretty much over. He had a decent season for us in 2024, but that was pretty much it. He was good in 2025 too. What am I saying? But yeah, he had some good years in the bullpen for us, but his career is likely done, being effective, that is, at least. And Tyler Freeman, he strained his anterior cruciate ligament, and he's been a big hit to our roster. He's only played in 24 games this year. Just absolute monster in those games. And of course, he's a fantastic OBP. He's our leadoff hitter because of that. And our lineup has definitely been missing him. So now with all of that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Rule 5 draft. And, continue, not the Rule 5 draft, the first year player draft. What am I saying? But we will keep building up our team, of course, as always. And we're also going to be having the 24th pick in the draft. As you can see, yes, so in the draft here, lots of very good relievers. Looks like Edwin Pareda, a JUCO sophomore. Extreme ground ball. Not sure I'm looking for a reliever to add to our team though here. With our first round pick, Kevin Huber looks like a good center fielder. That's who our scout recommends we take. Although I definitely want to see what else is available. Danny Adams, very good defensive outfielder. Doesn't really get on base at all, which I definitely do not like. Definitely want to see guys who our scout has some high accuracy on. Bobby Brennan, one of those lefty relievers. One of the relievers, I should say, at the top of the draft right now. Yeah, so a lot of these guys are he's pretty highly. Jared Goldsberry. This guy looks pretty decent. Gets on base a little bit. Again, not a great hitter. Looks like he's pretty decent up the middle. Not rangy, but very sure-handed with that high infield air rating. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like there's too many guys that we are high on that have great accuracy. Jeff Fletcher, we have an average accuracy on him. Honestly, I might just go with Hubert Ivan Moreno. Now, he's kind of interesting. He doesn't really have a great on-base tool, though, but I think he's largely fine. Ben Ketterer looks like a decent infield bat. Danny Harris as well. I think we might just go with Kevin Huber, though. His range is, I mean, he's a fantastic defensive outfielder. And if he profiles like this, he could be, Billy Hamilton type player, bottom of the lineup guy, who, gets on and maybe takes some bags. So I think we're going to go ahead and go with Huber. Now I'm definitely going to look at some of these relievers, but Pat Benchietti is the recommended guy. We're definitely going to take him. Guy who looks to stay at shortstop and play very good shortstop in the major leagues. Very rangy, can turn the double play very well. And this guy looks good. I definitely like his hitting ratings there. And now we're going to Jeff Silem Benny is a guy who is recommending we take. Not very rangy, but has a rocket arm. Don't know where he would play in the field if we drafted him. Of course, that doesn't matter when you're drafting in Major League Baseball, because of course you're drafting for more of you take the best guy who's available then. Thinking about position need or anything like that. Alex Rivas, he's pretty interesting. Although I think I liked the other outfielder, Elijah Fluker, a bit better. Yeah, his I don't know. Mike Smith also looks interesting. I don't like his hitting ratings as much as a guy like Rivas, though. Oof. Honestly, I definitely want to see if I can try to take them both. So Fluker, he's a higher demand, so we're going to go ahead and take him, because I bet he's valued more highly unless Rivas is still there. So we're going to go ahead and take him as well. And then Bobby Brennan is still available. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name, because I know definitely going to butcher it. Bobby Brennan's still here. So is this Tyrell White guy. He's not very, he's a decent guy, but he's just a higher value guy who fell. Chris Adams, I think this is definitely where we go with Brennan. and it is going to be. And that's going to do it because they're definitely not really any guys I value highly here. So we're just going to go ahead and skip to the end of the draft. Alright, so with all of that said, the recap of the team and, going over the first year player draft, that is going to wrap it up for this edition of the OOTP Tigers series. Definitely let me know how you're feeling about this series. We're definitely deep into it, but I definitely have no plans to stop. I am enjoying the heck out of the series, and it's been really fun to make. So do not forget to like, subscribe, show your support for the channel, and I will see you guys next episode.